All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling something that every single business owner is dealing with right now: how to make AI actually work for you instead of just being this expensive, time sucking distraction. It really all comes down to one thing: taking ownership of your strategy.
So let me just ask, does this sound familiar? You're using all the cool new AI tools, you're trying to keep up, but you kind of feel like you're just spinning your wheels. You were promised this huge revolution, but when you look at the numbers, the bottom line, nothing's really changing. If that hits home, trust me, you are not the only one feeling that way.
And this right here, this just nails that frustration, doesn't it? The promise is always so huge, right? Faster websites, automated decisions, it's all done for you. But the reality? Well, you get a website that looks fine. You get a bunch of activity, but no actual measurable results. And the worst part is, you're left with this nagging feeling that you don't even understand why it's not working. So, what's actually going on here? Why is there this massive gap between the hype and the reality? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental truth we have to get our heads around. AI just cannot think like a business owner. It can't. And understanding that difference is literally the key to making it work for you. So, why? Why can't it think like an owner? I mean, it's so powerful. Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. An AI has absolutely no skin in the game. Zero. It doesn't share the risk, it has no real accountability for the outcome, and it has none of the long-term context that you live and breathe every single day in your business. Just look at how different the thinking is here. On the left, you've got AI. It's brilliant at what it does. It looks at billions of data points and thinks in averages, patterns, and probabilities. It optimizes. But you, the owner, your brain is wired differently. You think about trade-offs, about opportunity cost. You're constantly weighing risk and timing. That's not optimization. That's judgment. And that's something an algorithm just can't do. I love this quote because it just cuts right to the chase. AI is always looking in the rearview mirror. It's asking, based on all the data from the past, what usually works. But an owner is right here, in the present, asking a much tougher question. What's going to work for us, with our specific customers, in our market, right now? That context is everything. Okay, so let's make this practical. If AI can't own the strategy, what does that mean for your website? Well, for starters, we have to totally rethink what a website even is. It's not a flyer, it's not a brochure, it's a critical piece of your business infrastructure, like your office or your warehouse. So think about it this way. In 2025, your website is a hard-working machine with three really important jobs. First, it's a trust filter. It has to instantly signal to the right people that they're in the right place. Second, it's a decision system. It has to guide those people and help them make the choices you want them to make. And third, and most importantly, it's a conversion layer. It's got to turn all that interest into actual business. Now, I know the word infrastructure sounds kind of boring, but it's so important. Think about it like the plumbing in your house. It has to be reliable. It needs to be able to handle growth, to scale. And it has to support everything you do. It might not be the sexiest part of your business, but it is the foundation that everything else rests on. And this just sums it all up perfectly. AI gives you unbelievable speed. It can write, it can code, it can design faster than any human could ever dream of. But if you don't give it direction, all that speed just creates a ton of noise. It's like having a Ferrari engine with no steering wheel. You'll go fast, but you'll end up in a ditch. So this really brings us to the core of it. In a world where everyone has access to automation, your unique strategic thinking is the most valuable thing you have. The moment you start outsourcing that thinking, whether it's to an AI or some done-for-you service, is the moment you start giving away your biggest advantage. And believe me, it happens fast. It's like a domino effect. First, when you're not driving the strategy, your goals get a little fuzzy. Then, because the goals aren't clear, the really important decisions get kicked down the road. And when nobody's making decisions, poof, accountability just vanishes. Suddenly, nobody really owns the outcome. And this isn't some abstract problem. It has very real, very painful costs. You end up with generic positioning that sounds just like your competitors, you get messaging that's a mile wide and an inch deep, and ultimately you get a brand that doesn't stand out, which always leads to an expensive and painful rebuild down the line. And when I say expensive, I'm not kidding. This is what happens. You build a site without a real strategy. It looks okay, but it just doesn't work. What's the result? You have to tear it down and start over. And that fix can easily cost you $15,000 or even more, all to fix mistakes that never should have happened.
This quote is the reason for that $15,000 bill. If your website is beautiful but it doesn't actually make your offer clear and move people to action, then it's not a business tool. It's just decoration. It's an art project. Strategy is what turns pretty pixels into predictable profit.
Okay, so enough doom and gloom. How do we fix this? How do we use these incredibly powerful AI tools without falling into all these traps? The answer is simple to say, but harder to do. It's strategy first, tools second. Always.
So here it is. This is your playbook. Think of it as a clear division of labor. Let the AI do what it's amazing at, drafting copy, exploring ideas, accelerating your workflow. But your job, the human job, is to own the strategy, to exercise judgment, and to hold the final accountability. It's a partnership. So before you ever type a prompt into an AI, you need to ask, what's the strategy here? And what decision am I making?
If you only remember one thing today, let it be this. AI is the greatest source of leverage we have ever seen. It can amplify your efforts 1,000 times over. But a lever can't decide where to push. That's not its job, that's leadership. And that's your job. This is really about a shift in your mindset. You have to stop thinking of yourself as a passive client or just someone who uses tools. You are the owner. You are the strategist. You are the final decision maker. And in this new world, your clear thinking is the single most valuable asset your business has. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Take a good, honest look at how you're using automation and AI right now. And ask yourself, is it a powerful assistant that's amplifying my strategy, or has it started to become a quiet replacement for my own thinking? The answer to that question will define everything.